Here we have a new style of battery for the iPhone 12 Pro Max. So here's the original battery, and what we're going to do is we're going to remove this BMS from this battery, and then at the top just here I'll remove that bit of tape, and there's a flex to click on that tab so that this BMS clicks onto the top of this, and then this fits in the phone, and apparently that will then go to 100% in the settings and everything will be perfectly fine. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to boot the phone back up with this old battery just to show that it says 80% in the state of health, and we're going to do that now. Just taking a little closer look at this replacement battery. So my original battery needs to click onto that connector, and then this connector clicks onto the phone itself. So we're going to try and do that somehow, and then arrange it so that, because there's quite a lot of space up this side in the phone, so the other BMS should fit up here quite nicely, and then we'll fold the cable out the way and try and keep it as neat as we possibly can. Now I have got a Face ID issue with this because I've replaced the Face ID, so there is an issue there with the Face ID, but that's and the display's been replaced as well. So there's lots of messages on this phone, but I don't want there to be a battery message. So if I can press the back button, let's go down to the battery, look at the battery health. It doesn't say service, and it also is down to 80% capacity, so we're going to get that replaced. I'm going to do that now. I'm going to chop the BMS off and then put it onto there and then see how it looks. I've just dropped a bit of alcohol on the old battery where the BMS sits, and I'm just going to let that sit for a minute. And then once that's sat for a minute, I'll peel all that black stuff off and then remove the BMS cable and see how it fits. So just for a temporary measure, I've isolated the positive and negative terminals on the BMS from the original battery, and I've connected it to the new replacement battery on that terminal there, and then I'm just going to connect it to the phone and see what it does. But I've just had to change that around the other way because I thought to myself it's wrong. So I've connected it and then folded the cable round, and then now it's pointing up directly. So hopefully that should be the proper way of doing it. I've not turned it on yet, so we're going to see what happens now. So I've folded it around this bit here. I've just left that bit dangling up there. I should be able to fold that back down so it sits in that groove there, fingers crossed. But yeah, we need to make sure that that sits nicely in there first. But I'm going to turn it on now, finally, and we're going to see what the new battery says. Right, so first time turning back on. Battery charging health still says 80%. So I'm going to have to try and turn it off and turn it back on again and see what happens. Or I might have to, you shouldn't have to do this, but I'm going to have to put another battery on there so it thinks that there's a problem, and then put the new battery in so that it reads the new capacity, hopefully. So that's the second reboot now, and it's come up with the battery message, battery warning message, saying that there's no battery connected, or it can't do the health. And I believe, yeah, there's an extra notification up here with important battery message. So I'm going to reboot it now, and then hopefully it should say 100%, fingers crossed. So my more fuel phone's gone down to 3, so the battery warning message has disappeared from there. So let's see what we got here. Oh, it still says 80%. Okay, so this is going to be a bit more difficult than I thought at first initially. It should be instant to 100%. So I've connected it to my V1 SE, and it does say that it's got 103% actual capacity and the cycle count 0, so it should recognise in the phone as, yeah, proper. So we'll try and connect it back in the phone and see what happens. Right, now I've connected it without the original BMS connected, just to see what that says. Right, so battery warning message is back. So let's go on the battery. There we go. Battery health charge unknown part. Battery warning message, yes. So I'm going to do a reboot and then see what it says now. Right, I'm hoping this time it's done it. I've only got the 3 messages at the top. Yep. Battery charging, 100%, yay! So that's all sorted. I now just need to fold that down properly in the tiny little space that's there, which isn't a lot. But yeah, we'll figure it out. I'll fold it down in that little space and then put it all back together, and then this job's done. Nice new battery with 100% battery health and no service problems. Now, I do know that on most phones, if it says, well, on the Pro Max versions, if it says service here, you cannot get rid of that service notification no matter how hard you try. And if someone knows how to do it, I'd be very interested in knowing how to do it, please. That'd be cool. Thanks very much. And over and out. Job done.